I wonder if the way we kind of revere anime is the same way Japanese or the East revere, say, the likes of Spider-Man or
No.
Superman.
No.
It's not, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I grew up in Japan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so. I think at the same time, if you think about, I remember I was watching about this. You know, the golden age of TV. So this is around like when The Wire and Sopranos and stuff like that. Not you to portray so many cool things in a way that kind of one speaks to like a 10-year-old when you first get into it. Bright colors, everything that a 10-year-old, we're talking about shonen, like everything like a 10-year-old boy wants to be. There's a reason why slice of life anime is always set in like a school or something like that. And then with fantasy, you can just transport yourself to something. If it wasn't, would you call it Dragon Ball Z, then what Western cartoons did we like? Again, comics, what would you call it? Power Rangers obviously is from the West, but all the like
no, it's not. Power Rangers
from the East. Power Rangers from the East and Japan, obviously. But like comics, DC, Marvel, all those things kind of lend itself to all these things that we want to do as little kids. Oh, I'm strong enough to lift a car, and I want to be strong, and I can fly. And I think it speaks to that at a very simplistic level. And then when you get older, I think the medium just allows like just more like visually really interesting like images, and then I think the storylines are very concise and consistent and it allows you to grow with a character. And if you think about that, what other medium outside of books do you get that? You don't get something as long running as an anime. Now, before people say, "Oh, what about cartoons?" Cartoons didn't have the same they didn't touch on the same subject matters that Naruto did, whether like we want to admit it or not.
Nah.
At the time.
No, they didn't.
Now, yeah, and then look what happened when they brought back X-Men 92, and people were like, "This is incredible." Meanwhile, some of those topics that were brought up in X-Men 92 have been covered by multiple different animes. So I think the medium allows it to kind of touch on a few different things. I wish I was a little bit more knowledgeable on the reasons why, because I'm sure there is, but I'm convinced that the visual medium of it allows it to be like just so easily consumable.
I don't even think it's visual. I think it's the story. I think anime is storytelling done very well. Not to say that Western cartoons don't do that as well, but I think there is different dimensions. And I wonder if the way we kind of revere anime is the same way Japanese or the East revere, say, the likes of Spider-Man or Superman.
No.
It's not, is it?
No, I don't think so. I grew up in Japan. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. I think at the same time, if you think about, I remember I was watching about this. You know, the golden age of TV. So this is around like when The Wire and Sopranos and stuff like that. Not all the time, but one of is that was the move away from episodic TV shows and storytelling to something more long term and like story arcs. So for example, in a whole season you have a story arc that you can start from the beginning, and it grows and it turns into something. Then season 2 it picks up where the end of season 1 and grows into something, and then from that moment you have all these incredible story arc driven TV shows. And we're still in that now, where like a good TV show blows a good movie out the water for most people. Now, before that, what did you have? Episodic in nature. You just pick up a show and just watch it. You look at some shows before that. Not to say they weren't good, but you could pick, like, it's like NCIS. You pick up anything and just watch it, and it doesn't matter. Cartoons were also the same. That was not the same. That's true. That was not the same for anime. Even when we were younger, like Toonami, you catch like not Cowboy Bebop, because Cowboy Bebop was a little bit blended with the two. But you catch Naruto, random episode 55. You're like, what the hell is happening here? Who the hell is this guy with sand? Why is that guy fighting this person? Whereas you could watch a cartoon from a Western cartoon. I'm not saying it's consistent, but you could watch a Western cartoon at the time when we were watching it as kids. Doesn't matter. You just pick up everything and just understand what's happening. The whole storyline was contained within that 25-minute, 30-minute episode. Whereas with anime, it wasn't always the case. It was you have to catch it or you miss something.
I mean, X-Men and Spider-Man had some story threading through it.
That's why they were so revered. Like, what do you call it? The Batman the animated series. That was also good for the same reason.
So that's what I'm saying. Were they revered in Japan though? You said no.
I don't think so. Only because I think that Japan have been. I think I don't want to underestimate the impact that Japanese stories have had in Japan for hundreds of years. So I wouldn't want to assume that just because we revered them in the West, that they would be revered in Japan. Like, I would think they would have so many other, because you see often if you watch like these kind of like Q&A sessions where people in Japan and they ask them what their favorite anime are, and I'm hearing a whole bunch of different animes that they used to watch when they were younger. It was not all the ones that we did. It was like all these weird and wonderful ones, none of the ones that we did.
No, it'll be interesting. I know that when I was looking at the data and our stats, last 5 episodes we've had a few Japanese people listening. So, Japanese people listening, feel free to get in contact with us. Let us know if you like Batman, or because a lot of the things that we done in the West, to be honest, did rip off what they did in Japanese, like Power Rangers, Super Sentai Warriors. I did not know all those action shots were taken from Japan.
We just dubbed over them. We just wrote over them. We got a VHS tape, put it and said record over top.
I was shocked to hear that.
What do you call it? You know the original sorry to cut you off, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You know the villain Rita?
Yeah, she's Japanese. I didn't know that.
Japanese. Everything.
I actually did not know that. She's Japanese. I know, as a kid, I thought she was black. I don't know why. Did you not?
No. I thought
she looked dark, innit?
I just thought she was a space witch. That's what I thought. Some space witch. But I thought that voice was her voice.
Yeah, I did as well.
That was her voice. I thought she was an English speaker. I thought that was her. So whoever that that voice actor is, did an incredible job.
Very well, because it kind of matches her as well.
Oh, it works perfectly.
It really does. But interesting. I'm really curious to know whether they revere Spider-Man, because I'm curious.
Not to say it's not popular, but for us in the West, we this was the one growing up. I don't think it was for us. I don't think it was, because was it even on TV in Japan to the same extent? Because remember, we remember this. We had a whole TV channel dedicated to just anime, Toonami. When that thing split into Toonami, that was majority like darker topics in shows, and the majority of them were anime. After a certain time, after like that 6:30, that was all anime on there.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Well, that was good. Next one. Oh, I know this. Click on the next video before he lets it off. Impeccable form, by the way, and the Hunter x Hunter drip is... Get out of there! It's still there, though. Yes, but in his mind, it's gone.